All right, welcome back. So today we're going to start off with a little bit of matching. So what I want you guys to do is take a couple minutes and see if you can match the circle of evaluation with its corresponding arithmetic expression. Okay, so take a couple minutes and see if you can match these. There's 5 of them. And once you're done with your matching, come back and check your answers. All right, so the correct answers for these matching, number 1 was for letter D, number 2 is with letter B, number 3 is with letter E, number 4 is with letter A, and then last but not least, number 5 was with letter C. Okay, so hopefully you got all of these correct. So today what we're going to do is do a little intro to coding. So our definition here, code rule, each open parenthesis is followed by one function, then by one or more legal expressions, and finally by a closing parenthesis. So basically what this means is code is always going to be inside of some kind of parenthesis. The first thing you see inside the parenthesis is going to be the function. Then there will be the numbers. Okay, so for example 1 here, it says write the code and evaluate. So I have a circle of evaluation here, 4 minus 5. So my code would start with a parenthesis. The function is subtraction. And then my expressions include a 4 and a 5. Okay, so notice how there's space between them. Okay, so when I evaluate this, this tells me 4 minus 5, so that equals -1. Okay, in example 2, it says draw the circle of evaluation and evaluate. So remember, our circle of evaluation starts with the circle, and then I draw the line. My function goes on top. So if we look at our code here, my function is multiplication. Remember, multiplication is the asterisk symbol, the star, and then I have 5 and -2. So this expression is 5 times -2, and that gives me -10. Okay. Example 3, draw the circle of evaluation, write the code, and evaluate the problem. 100 divided by 5. 100 divided by 5. So let's start with the circle of evaluation. So we have our circle, make our line. Our function, our operation here is division. So division is the slash. Then we have 100 divided by 5. Okay. My code, we're going to start with a parenthesis. The first thing inside the parenthesis is my operation, and that is division. Then we have 100 and 5. So if we evaluate this, 100 divided by 5 gives me 20. Okay? Example number 4, when a circle of evaluation has circles inside of it, the inner circle requires its own set of parentheses. So here I have parentheses inside of parentheses. So it says try writing the code for the circle of evaluation to the right. Okay, so since we're writing code, I know I start with a parenthesis. So if I look, my operation is a multiplication symbol. So I have this star. And I am multiplying 6 by that second circle of evaluation. So that second circle of evaluation gets its own code. So I'm starting a parenthesis again. The new operation is addition. And then we have 4 and 5. So that inside circle of evaluation is 4 plus 5. But then I'm taking that result and multiplying it by 6. So we are done writing code, so I need 2 closing parentheses. Okay? On the next page, you're going to see some more matching. So I want you guys to take a couple minutes, see if you can match the circle of evaluation with its code written on the right, okay? So take a couple minutes, see if you can match these, and then come back and check your answers. All right, number 1 goes with letter F. Number 2, letter B. Number 3, letter D. Number 4, letter C. Number 5, letter E. And number 6, letter A. Okay, so hopefully you got these correct. And we're going to do some more practice. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to use the given information. So each one of these rows has something that's given to us. And we're going to use that to fill in the other parts of the row that are not given. So in this first row here, we have the circle of evaluation. So let's think about this in reverse. In typical mathematics, we usually see the operation in between the numbers. So this circle of evaluation is telling me to do 4 minus 5. Okay? In code, we start with the parenthesis, and then the first thing is the operation, which would be minus, and then we have a 4 and a 5. Okay, so if I evaluate this, 4 minus 5 gives me -1. Okay, in the second row, I still have the circle of evaluation, but I have 2 circles of evaluation. So there's 2 things going on here. Okay, I see 351 divided by, so this is going to end up being a fraction, 351 divided by, that inside circle of evaluation says 4 minus 5. So I'm doing 351 divided by 4 minus 5. So in code, we're starting with division because that's my operator. 351. Let me make this smaller. Let's see. Okay. So I have division 351. Then we have another set of parentheses because I have that inside circle. That operation is minus subtraction. Then I have a 4 and a 5. And then we have 2 sets of parentheses. Okay? So if we're evaluating this, we want to evaluate the bottom first. So 4 minus 5 is -1. So this is really 351 divided by -1. So my answer is going to be -351. Okay? In the next row, we have the mathematical expression. So in typical math, that's what this is saying. So first we want to do our circle of evaluation. So my overall operation, so the thing between those 2 sets of parentheses is an addition sign. So that's my overall operation. Each of those individual sets of parentheses is going to get its own circle of evaluation. So I have 2 circles of evaluation going on inside of this big one. The first one, its operation is multiplication. And we're multiplying 22 and 4. And the second one, its operation is division. That's an awful division sign. Division. And we're dividing 20 and 5. All right, so let's think about the code here. I start with the parenthesis. The first operation is that addition. That greatest operation is the addition. Then I have 2 separate circles of evaluation. So I'm going to have 2 individual sets of code here. My first one, we are multiplying 22 and 4. And then the next one, we are dividing 20 and 5. Then I need to close this overall set of parentheses. Okay. All right. Then my evaluation. We have to do the first set of parentheses, which is 22 times 4. That gives us 88. And I'm going to add it to the second set of parentheses. 20 divided by 5 gives me 4. So if I add 88 and 4, we get 92. Okay. So in the last row here, we have the code. Okay, so I have the code. So let's do our circle of evaluation first. So my overall operation is addition. Okay, then we have 4. Then I see another set of parentheses, which means that has its own circle. The operation for that is multiplication. And we're multiplying 7 and 2. Okay. So in normal mathematics, what we would see normally up to now when we're doing coding, this is saying 4 plus whatever 7 times 2 is. So that's how we would normally see it in math. So if we're evaluating this, we have to do the parentheses first. So 7 times 2 gives us 14. So this is 4 plus 14. So my answer is going to be 18. Okay? All right. So last thing here, we have our math expression, and we want to write the circle of evaluation and then in code. So I want you guys to take a couple minutes and see if you could do these. Take the math, write it as the circle of evaluation, and then write it in code. And then come back and check your answers. Okay? All right. So for our first question here, my circle of evaluation, the operation is multiplication, and we're multiplying 5 and 10. So in code, that's going to be parenthesis, multiply 5 and 10. Okay. Second question, my circle of evaluation, the overall operation is addition, and we're adding 8 plus that second set of parentheses. So that parenthesis is going to get its own circle. The operation in there is multiplication, and we're multiplying 5 and 10. So in code, this is going to be parenthesis. My overall operation is addition, and we're adding 8 plus that second circle, so that's its own set of parentheses. My operator is multiplication, 5 and 10. Then I need 2 closing parentheses. The third one, circle of evaluation. My overall operation is subtraction. Then I have 2 sets of parentheses, so I'm going to have 2 circles inside the circle. The first set is addition, so I have a plus. We have 8 and 2. My second set of parentheses is multiplication, and we're multiplying 5 and 10. So with my code, we start with our parenthesis. My overall operation is subtraction, and then each of those circles is going to have its own code. So the first one is addition, 8 and 2. We're done with that one. The second one is multiplication, 5 and 10. We're done with that one. Then we need to close the original. Last but not least, we have a fraction, and fractions mean division. And then each part of the fraction is technically like a set of parentheses. So I have 2 more circles of evaluation. So the first one is multiplication. We're multiplying 5 and 10. The second one is subtraction, and we're doing 8 minus 2. So with the code, we start with the parenthesis, and then my operation is going to be division. Then we move to the next circle, operation multiplication, 5 and 10. Then we move to the next one, subtraction, 8 and 2. And then we close the original. Okay? So the very last thing here says, now go back and evaluate each of the 4 pieces of code. So basically it just wants you to figure out what are those actually equal to. So number 1, if we evaluate that, that gives us 50. Number 2, if we evaluate, this gives us 58. Number 3, if we evaluate, gives us negative 40. And then number 4 gives us 50 over 6, which is equal to 8.33. Okay? All right. So for homework, you guys are going to complete the lessons 1 to recap page. So if you're in class, you have this on paper. If not, it is on Schoology. So complete that. I also have a video that you can watch of me typing in the code into the program that we're going to be using to write our video game. Okay, so when you get a second, watch that video just so you can see how it works in the code. Okay, so everybody have a wonderful night.